Apple using its Worldwide Developers Conference to roll out a long-awaited overhaul of Siri. The tech giant also unveiling the next generation of its Apple Intelligence technology, but the stock was down about 2% at the end of the day. Joining us right now is Samik Chatterjee. He is JPMorgan's senior analyst. Samik, let's talk a little bit about what you saw yesterday and whether this revamp of Siri is what you had been hoping for.
Yep. No, thank you. Thanks for having me, Becky. Thank you. I think firstly, it is in line with what was promised as an overhaul of Siri. And to your earlier comment, is it a game changer? We do think it's a game changer for the long term. I mean, you won't see volume suddenly go up because of this release, but I think there are three things to keep in mind. One, it is a benefit when it comes to the medium term in being able to match what other premium flagship devices are offering in terms of features and capabilities at this point. Secondly, you're able to, on top of those models, offer capabilities or features that are differentiated because they integrate with a lot of applications, native apps that you use already on an Apple device, which has always been Apple's strength. In consumers using a lot of their apps, now they integrate with the LLM models that are being offered in this overhaul. And then thirdly, as a reminder to investors, they're doing this without really a big spending in terms of capital spending that the other hyperscalers are doing which Apple doesn't have to do at this point. So I think those are three key things to keep in mind why this is important for the long term.
Does this, you think, will Siri replace what we see with ChatGPT or with any of the other large language models that are out there, or does this kind of work in conjunction? It's just like a smart, small language model to match up and help organize you better on everything you have stored across your Apple devices?
I mean, we envision it playing out pretty much the way an average consumer is using these services today, right? Everybody is probably using 2 or 3 services at the same time, going and doing the same set of questions and queries on every one of them and picking the best response. So I think what will eventually happen is Siri will become one of your tools to use with the underlying partnership that they have with Gemini. And then you'll have your other services that are more cloud-based. Now, the differentiation here for Siri is there'll be a lot of personal context that it has on you through your device. So in some of the examples that Apple showed yesterday, those are really what drives the differentiation is you can manage your calendar, you can manage your contacts, you can do a lot of email editing, etc. So those are all things that come easily with the integration with the native apps. Now, when you look at it in terms of third-party apps, there'll be certain things that they are good at, but you won't really have the integration with the native apps and the personal context that you share beyond what you share in that prompt itself.
Yeah, I like how you describe it, basically just working within the ecosphere and maybe making it stickier. The iPhone making all of everything you have with Apple a little stickier. You already have your photos there. You've got your music there. This kind of ties it in on one more level.
When you think about it, I mean, one, you have the right to sell premium phones at a very high margin, offering the same feature set that is at par with other premium flagships continues to give you that right. But then when you're in the Apple ecosystem, the stickiness, which has always been Apple's differentiation, continues to build on itself. I mean, there are other changes or the other offerings that Apple introduced yesterday, including some of the child safety aspects in terms of families using the phones more and more. You can see that you'll now increase the number of devices per household, and the entry-level phones as well will, as the early consumer comes in, will be probably an iPhone to go with that, right? So that also has long-term market share implications here.
My question for you, if I could, is really actually about one of the comments that I noted yesterday around Apple saying that the models they're using from Google are different than Google's sort of classic Gemini model or something else. Do you think it means that that is a better model they're using, just fundamentally different model they're using, a lesser model? How do you compare what's going on, for example, on an Android phone right now and what is going on now on a new Apple phone with this technology?
So I think overall, the data sets that are used to train these models are eventually going to be proprietary. And so what Apple is probably offering you is an insight that there are individual proprietary data sets that they're using to train these models and then make them available to the consumer. So it's not a lift and shift of the entire same model itself. Now, that said, if you take a step back and say, will the consumer probably notice a big difference initially? Probably not, right? To the average consumer, what you're offering at this point in terms of features are probably going to look very similar with maybe very minor nuances to them. So I don't think even in the early stages, you're going to see a material difference to the consumer experience on it, beyond, as we've talked about, the integration with the native apps, which makes things a lot more seamless in the personal context. Now, eventually, as you continue to sort of enhance those data sets and train these models, and you start to diverge more from where the standard, like off-the-shelf Google Gemini models are, you start to see probably a bigger differentiation, but I wouldn't expect that in the first couple of generations at least.
Samik, thank you very much. I should point out the stock's at $301. You've got a $325 price target and an overweight rating. That stands after what you saw yesterday?
Yeah, we like the setup here. I mean, this year is the back half of this year is still going to be primarily about the foldable phone, a new form factor, which has always worked well for Apple. And we're expecting a strong sales season. What is important from the announcements yesterday is to get the feature set out to US consumers in the fall before the holiday season, which is always very key in terms of timing. So we continue to like the setup into the back half.